So, hello everyone. That today we are going to see about the topic that is the fetal circulation. What are the normal things which are related with that of the fetus? So, it is the circulation of oxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood, nutritive material, etc. in the fetus is termed as fetal circulation. So it is important what we know that whatever the nutrients which is required to the fetus is submitted from the mother, it goes from mother to fetus, and whatever the waste products it's removed from the fetus to the mother. That is what we see in here. So before this, what we see, the placenta is more important than this one structure that is called as the umbilical cord, and from here it goes into the fetus. This is the placenta. Placenta, this disc-like structure, what we see here. This one upper side it is the maternal surface, and lower it is the fetal surface. So this maternal surface like looks like this structure. This is called as a cotyledon, and from this is the fetal surface, where from the center the umbilical cord arises. The placenta, the circulatory system of the mother is not directly connected to that of the fetus. So the placenta functions as the respiratory center for the fetus. So it is for the fetus. So next one is as well as a site of filtration for plasma nutrients and waste, water, glucose, amino acids, vitamins, and inorganic salts freely diffuse across the placenta along with oxygen. The uterine arteries carry oxygenated blood, whatever from here. It is the uterine vessels carry the oxygenated blood to the placenta. That is normally. But from the umbilical vein, umbilical vein carries the oxygenated blood to the fetus. So this is the structure how actually it is present. So here it is the placenta. Here it is the umbilical cord from where the nutrition and oxygen goes to the fetus, and waste products are then removed from fetus to the placenta. It mixes with the mother circulation and removes from the body. So what is the anatomy and the physiology of fetal circulation? So basically whatever this umbilical cord, it carries the umbilical artery and umbilical veins. So umbilical cord, it consists of two umbilical arteries. It's written non-oxygenated blood, fecal waste, and CO2 to placenta. While fetal waste and CO2 to placenta, while one umbilical vein, it brings oxygenated blood and nutrients to the fetus. So if artery, whatever the arteries carry the from CO, whatever the waste products from the fetus to the mother via two umbilical arteries. But one umbilical vein carries the oxygenated blood and nutrients from mother to the fetus. So there are three shunts are present in fetal life. The shunt means this one. So one is ductus venosus, one is ductus arteriosus, and third one is the foramen vein. What is ductus venosus? It connects the umbilical vein to the inferior vena cava. Second, ductus arteriosus, it connects the main pulmonary artery to the aorta. Main pulmonary artery to the aorta, while foramen vein, it is the opening between the two atrium, that is right atrium and the left atrium. After that, it gets ductus. Three shunts, ductus venosus, ductus arteriosus, and foramen ovale. So what is actually this? See, this is placenta. Imagine, for example, placenta is over here, and the umbilical cord is there. So it carries the umbilical vein and the umbilical arteries. We know that umbilical vein carries the oxygenated blood, this yellow one. From here, the blood, nutrient, and oxygen, it reaches over here, and there is a shunt present between over here that is called as a ductus venosus. Then this is the inferior vena cava of the fetus. It goes into the heart and then circulation takes place. Again from here, again from here, what we see that it goes into the circulation heart. There is a shunt between these two, that is between the two atrium, that is called as foramen ovale. And from here, the blood goes here, from here, arch of aorta. And there is a connection between pulmonary stripe and that system arch of aorta. So that is called as ductus arteriosus. So these two shunts which are present, one is ductus venosus, second one that is the ductus arteriosus, and third one it is the foramen ovale. Where it is present? It is present between two atrium, that is right and left atrium. So how does the blood move? So it is the umbilical vein carries the oxygenated blood and nutrients from the placenta to the fetus. So it is the umbilical vein which carries the oxygenated blood and nutrients, while blood continues to travel from the inferior vena cava to the ductus venosus. Blood continues to travel from the inferior vena cava to the ductus venosus. So fetal circulation. Ductus venosus is allows oxygenated blood from the placenta to bypass the liver and puts blood into the hepatic veins. So it whatever the blood which comes from the umbilical vein, it bypass from the liver, bypass from the placenta to liver and puts blood into the hepatic vein. Here in the previous diagram, what we see. It whatever the blood, it bypass from here to the liver and hepatic. So that is called as a ductus venosus. One connection which is present over here. That is the one. And small amount of blood routed to growing liver, increased blood flow leads to large liver in newborn. That is what it leads to the next thing. And foramen ovale. Foramen ovale, it is a connection between the two atrium. So this one is foramen ovale. So this one is right atrium. Here it is left side what we are having the left atrium, this one. And there is one connection between this that is called as the foramen ovale. So what happens to the blood after it reaches the right atrium? When the blood reaches from the inferior cava into the right atrium, blood flow, what normally it has from right atrium, it has to go to the right ventricle, and then from the pulmonary, it again enters into the left atrium, then it has to go into the left ventricle, and from arch of aorta. So that is normal blood flow which takes place in the normal human being. But in the embryo life, in the fetal life, what we see that whatever the blood, it goes from left atrium into the right atrium. That is the C. Normally, blood inferior vena cava, superior vena cava in normal circulation. It goes in, come into the left atrium, then it goes into the coming to the right atrium, it goes into the right ventricle. From right ventricle in the pulmonary trunk, again it enters into the left atrium. From left atrium to the left ventricle, from left ventricle to the arch of aorta, it goes. So this is normal. But what happens? Whatever the blood which comes from the inferior vena cava, it does not go Yes. There is a directly it enters into the left atrium by passing on these things. So that is called as, and this connection is called as foramen oval. So this is the into the left atrium to the foramen oval, and here again it mixes with a smaller amount of deoxygenated blood from the pulmonary veins. So what happens here? It is the whatever the blood which is actually deoxygenated blood, and from inferior vena cava it is the oxygenated blood. So there is a mixing of all these things over here. So it is a small amount of deoxygenated blood from the pulmonary veins. It gets mixed. That one is, and fetal circulation. Some of the blood entering the right atrium does not pass directly to the left atrium through the foramen oval, but enters the right ventricle and is pumped into the pulmonary artery. So it can one part it is going into the directly into the left atrium, while some part of the blood entering into the routine pathway, that is normal circulation. And in the fetus, there is a special connection between the pulmonary artery and the aorta, that is called as the ductus arteriosus. So what happened here? Whatever the blood whatever the blood which is coming, normally some part it is going directly into the left atrium and some part of the blood is following this passage of right atrium to the right ventricle, then pulmonary veins to the left atrium, then left ventricle again into the abject aorta. So these changes can take place, but this is called as a fetal circulation. And there is another connection that is present between the artery, aorta, and the pulmonary vein. That is called as a ductus arteriosus. So see from here, this one is the umbilical cord. From umbilical cord, it reaches slowly. This one umbilical vein. Umbilical vein carries oxygenated blood. It goes upside. From here, above, this one is inferior vena cava. So there is a one connection in between this. So this is called as ductus venosus. This is sphincter in venosus. So what it is this one supply to the liver, and this enters whatever the blood from the umbilical vein, it enters from this ductus venosus. Here it is in the inferior vena cava. From inferior vena cava, it enters into the right atrium, then right ventricle, then pulmonary vein, then pulmonary vein lungs. It enters into the left atrium to left ventricle to the arched aorta, and normally descending aorta. Then again it is deoxygenated blood, umbilical arteries, and then it again goes into the placenta stage. But there is a in between shunt artery. It is the first shunt, this is called as the ductus venosus. Second shunt, that is called as the ductus arteriosus. This pulmonary artery is connected with that of aorta. So this pulmonary part is connected with that of the aorta, that is ductus arteriosus, and there is a connection between this left atrium and the right atrium and the left atrium, that is called as foramen oval. Oval or second synonym, it is oval foramen. So in between pulmonary structure and the abscess aorta, there is a connection. Now fetal circulation. After it proceeds to the left ventricle, where it is pumped to the heart and the brain. When it goes into the left ventricle, so from which the blood goes into the heart and brain, blood continues journey to the left ventricle. Blood is then pumped into the aorta, that is normally. Blood is circulated to the upper extremities. Blood then returns to the right atrium, that is not right atrium. See, the another diagram. How can we select? This is the placenta. From placenta, here this one is the umbilical cord. Inside of it is the umbilical vein because we are having the one umbilical vein and two umbilical arteries. This umbilical vein goes into upside. There this one is here. It is the liver. Then this one is the ductus venosus. Then this upper side it is going into the inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. Here it is the right atrium. Normally then right ventricle. Some part it is, and from there it goes into the pulmonary structure. From pulmonary again, from left it returns into the left atrium. From left atrium to left ventricle. From left ventricle again arch of aorta. Arch of aorta. Then the supply to the heart, supply to the blood, supply to the brain. Then it comes into this one here. Again, descending aorta. Then umbilical artery which carries the deoxygenated blood. And that deoxygenated blood comes over continuously going into the mother side placenta. And from placenta, it is goes into the mother circulation, and it normally circulation takes place in the mother. But in between there are three cells, that is ductus venosus. Second one is the ductus arteriosus, and third one it is foramen ovale, that is between right atrium and left atrium. So what about the rest of the blood? The blood still in the right atrium goes into the right ventricle, then to the pulmonary artery, that is normal circulation. Once the most of the blood passes the lungs and heads to the aorta through the ductus arteriosus. About 15% of the blood flows to the lungs to the right atrium by way of the pulmonary veins and pulmonary arteries. Small amount goes to the maturing lungs. Rest of the blood is shunted away from lungs by ductus arteriosus back to the aorta. So that is how actually it takes place. So what is happening further down? So some of the blood moves from the aorta to the internal iliac arteries to the umbilical arteries and re-enters the placenta, that is maternal circulation. And as we know that there are two umbilical arteries. What umbilical arteries carry? Umbilical arteries carry deoxygenated blood. So pathway. So if you see the oxygenated blood from the placenta to the umbilical vein, then it goes into the fetus, then it goes into the liver, that is here it is the liver, then it receives the deoxygenated blood from the portal vein. Portal vein, sideways picture we have seen the portal. Hello. So from inferior vena cava, right atrium to the heart, to the foramen ovale, left atrium of the heart, and to the left ventricle of the heart. So there is ventricular system. So left ventricular blood, it is pumped, contains ascending aorta and distributed by their branches to the heart, head, neck, brain, and arms. While the blood which is present in the right ventricle blood with less than oxygen is discharged into the pulmonary arteries. Then again from the pulmonary arteries, that is from to the ductus arteriosus, again it enters into the that is descending aorta, from descending aorta into the hypogastric arteries, from hypogastric arteries to the umbilical arteries, and from umbilical arteries coagulated blood which enters into the placenta. So what happened after birth? What we have seen that whatever there is a foramen ovale, it is there. Whether it is continuous throughout the life, so no. Whatever the changes which are present in the fetal circulation, they are not seen in the adult life. So what happens? Once the baby is born and the lung, renal, digestive system and the liver functions are working, the fetal circulation undergoes some changes since they are no longer needed. So what happens after birth? Whatever the lung, renal, digestive, liver functions, they are working. So the fetal circulation, it